Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is the National Intel Report. I'm your host, John Stadtmiller, with you on this Tuesday, the 17th of December, 2013. Only, 7 days shopping till that, and 365 till next Christmas. I should have some money to spend by then. Why am I laughing? I don't know. Maybe it keep from going crazy. I have Gerald Celente, TrendsJournal. How you doing, Gerald?
I'm doing fine, and actually I'm having a Prosecco with a little bit of creme de cassis that my friend over here in the Hudson Valley, Ray Tucci, makes. So that's what I'm doing to keep myself from going crazy, because anybody with a half a brain or that's half awake and looks at the lunatics that are destroying our great nation, boy, you better do something, or you better boogie before the lights go out. Because as I'm watching these trends, John, I have to tell you, I am very, very concerned.
Well, there's no sense in running. I mean, people think that.
Oh no, I'm not running.
No, I'm not saying you.
What I'm saying is people better get real to this. If anybody hasn't picked up the news or been tuning in for the last couple of days, the war hawks are beating the drum. They just did a $240 billion deal with Japan, the United States did, to supply them Aegis weapons missile systems, a couple of destroyers, and F-35s.
So they're going to arm them to go to battle with what? China?
And who else were they just down there to visit? You remember those great people, the Vietnamese. That's right. The ones that they sent people like me, my age group, to go kill. And now Kerry's over there just gave them, I think, about a $120 million deal. They gave them our money to start buying weaponry to defend themselves against the Chinese. Yeah, the wonderful Vietnamese that the liars-in-chief at the day took us to war to fight. And now, of course, like the Japanese, they're our big allies now. Oh, and then Kerry just went down to the Philippines. And he's reestablishing bases and troops down there.
We don't have enough bases and troops all over the planet.
So you can see where this is going, and then pick up the news and read where Russia is now putting their missile systems on the borders facing into the West. Oh, it couldn't be because the United States has put up all those radar systems for the Czech Republic and are building missile defense systems into Poland. And you know what they're for? No, they may only look like they're heading toward Russia. They're really there to stop the Iranians. You can't make this stuff up. They're taking us to war. All of the world economies are collapsing. There are riots in Italy, riots in Spain, riots in Greece, riots in Romania, riots in the Ukraine, riots in Mexico. That's right, the people protesting against the state selling off their most valuable assets to their buddies in the oil biz. There's riots and civil wars and civil unrest going on around the world at a speed and a density like I have never seen in my 33 years of doing this work, and I'm very concerned.
Well, we as well, and I am just amazed. Gerald, do you remember the rhetoric that was bandied about when we went after most favored nation status for communist China? That it was the same people out there, the same pundits that said, well, if we do this NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement, that's going to mean millions of jobs for the Mexicans and millions of jobs for Americans as well. These very same people were out there plugging for China. Well, the only way to change that communist government is to institute capitalism. Yeah, that ought to change them. This is absolute, Gerald.
We have madmen in control. John? Hey, how's Obamacare going? Tell me about the lovely Iraq War. Only another 56 innocent people were killed yesterday. Hey, isn't it dandy over there in Afghanistan? It's another beautiful day. 6 of our troops were just shot down, and you know who they were shot down by? I read it in the newspaper. Insurgents. Now, let me get this straight. You're in another country. You invaded another country, and the people in that country kill you because they hate your guts. and you call them insurgents, you need help. You better go see a psychiatrist. Get out of their country. You have no business being there. The only place you Americans have business being in is America. That's what this country was founded upon. Those are the principles that I believe in. Anybody that wants to change the Constitution or the principles of what this country was founded upon, leave. I'm for the Founding Fathers and the founding principles. If you're not happy with them, you have no place in America.
The problem is with Botox Baby there, jaunting around the world. You saw how fast Hillary got her hat and left town. She's prepping for 2016. And this cast iron Biddy, if she gets anywhere near the White House, I'm going to buy some property on the moon.
Who's going to be better? Who's going to be better? You're putting a member of the mafia into the office.
Yep.
You want to call him a Republican? Call him a Republican. You want to call him a Democrat? Call him a Democrat. They're losers. George W. Bush, grade A loser. They booed him off stage. He deserved it. He should be brought up, on my estimation, in reading the trends and looking at the facts, for war crime tribunals, for getting us involved in the Iraq war with lies. Who told the lies? Who knew what, when? That's what I want to see.
Well, and here's the political setup for 2016. I'm almost 100% sure that Hillary Clinton will run. Now, she's going to be 69, pushing 70 in 2015, 2016. You can bet your bottom dollar, Gerald, that they're going to put up a pseudo-Republican, somebody you would never, ever consider.
Pseudos.
Yeah, I understand. No, I understand that. My point is that here it is. You don't want Hillary Clinton. Well, you better take that guy. And on a good day, you wouldn't have voted him dog catcher.
2016. The way I'm looking at things, the way they're taking us now, and the trends that I'm seeing, today was an epiphany for me. I just mentioned some facts that just came out within the last 4 days. The fact that the Japanese are arming themselves at a pace that we have never seen before. That the United States is now arming the Vietnamese, who don't have good relations with the Chinese anyway, and just fought a war back in the 80s with them. They're arming them as well. They're going to the Philippines, they're arming them. There's civil unrest around the world. We're putting out our top list of trends for 2014, and we're amending them because we're so concerned about what's going on in front of our eyes. The president of Italy today, the past president, George Napolitano, said that he fears that social tensions are going to rip apart the country. The people have been in the streets for the last 5 days. It's called the Pitchfork Rebellion. It's not making the news. They're in the streets in Romania. They're in the streets in Bulgaria. They're in the streets of Greece, in Spain. They just put some new anti-protest laws into place.
Hey, I know the path, being it's near Christmas time, I know the path to peace on earth. Get rid of the fiat money, people, and replace that with honest and sound banking in every one of the countries you just mentioned, and let's see how many riots are still going on. We've got a break. We'll be right back.
Do you flinch when a police car appears in your rearview mirror, or you get pulled over? Are you squeamish when an envelope arrives in the mail with the return address of a court, a government agency like the IRS, or some law firm? Would you like to escape government agency harassment? Then visit escapeharassment.com. George Bush allegedly says the government constitution is nothing but a doggone piece of paper. Well, that's a contract. A contract is an offer acceptance of that offer, at which point a contract arrives by law and the offerer can no longer withdraw the offer. We teach, do not accept. That way there is no contract or agreement for you to go to their court or private club meeting. To escape government agency harassment like the IRS, visit escapeharassment.com. This is a tried and proven experienced process, not experimental, with a money-back guarantee that it works and success testimonials from previous students. Remember, escapeharassment.com. That's escapeharassment.com.
Herbal Healer Spring Sale. 500 parts per million colloidal silver, all sizes. COQ10 with hawthorn, glucosamine chondroitin, sea cucumber, colloidal minerals, superfam and super male plaques, colon enhancer, our top selling liquid, Cal Mag Vitamin D, MSM sulfur capsules, and elderberry power capsules. We also offer certificate correspondence courses in natural medicine. Free memberships and free online newsletters also available at herbalhealer.com. Herbal Healer has been serving the natural medicine industry for 25 years. This is a company you can count on. Visit herbalhealer.com today. herbalhealer.com. That's herbalhealer.com.
Whew, nice shooting. Hey, that's a sweet AK-47 chest rig. Is that multicam?
Yep, got it from StrikeHardGear.com.
Strike what?
StrikeHardGear.com.
Set your sights on StrikeHardGear.com. Tough, tactical gear for your Soviet-style weapon that's made in the USA. Affordable, plus a no-questions-asked 30-day money-back guarantee and lifetime replacement warranty. StrikeHardGear.com. Go ahead, pull the trigger.
Attention veterans, fellow preppers, and outdoorsmen. You have to check out AmericanSurvivalWholesale.com. They're veteran-owned and operated, offering GMO-free food, camping supplies, and much more. The best customer service and fast shipping makes AmericanSurvivalWholesale.com second to none. Unique products and super low prices make AmericanSurvivalWholesale.com the best choice for emergency preparedness. No automated computers, just good people trying to help you prepare. Finally, brother veterans, if you need help with food or blankets, call 818-720-0759.
Get ready for Real Talk Radio. You're listening to the National Intel Report with your host, John Stadtmiller.
Well. We'll go to the calls here in a second. Had another bank failure here in Texas. In 1985, there were more than 18,000 banks in the United States. Today, there's only about 6,800 left. The sixth largest banks in the United States, that being J.P. Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Citigroup, Wells Fargo, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, have collectively gotten 37% larger over the past 5 years. Well, I am in total shock. And the U.S., Gerald, the U.S. banking system has $14.4 trillion in total assets. The six largest banks now account for 67% of those assets, and all the other banks account for only 33% of those very same assets. And J.P. Morgan, folks, oh yes, they're just broke. They're really too big to fail, so let's have a hearty cheer for them. J.P. Morgan Chase is roughly the size of the entire British economy. And these five largest banks, talk about consolidation, they account for about 42% of all the loans in the United States. Gerald, the NSA, Snowden, I think this guy, the United States government wants to prosecute him. They want him back. They want to charge him with multiple felonies. This guy is a damn hero for exposing what the NSA is doing. Did you see what the judge said about this yesterday?
I did, and actually wrote about it in the TrendsJournal. I mean, him and along with Bradley Manning, this kid, he exposed those terrible atrocities being committed by American soldiers, and as well as Glenn Greenwald.
Well, and it's just fascinating to me that this case, the judge is going to, not really put his ruling into effect because he knows the government is...
I know, yeah, he waffled. I mean, you read the language.
Yeah, it's like...
And going back, by the way, here's something else that may shock you today. I'm for gun control. You shocked?
No, I am too.
Well, here's where I want to start controlling it at. I want to start controlling it at the military-industrial complex. When they get their gun control under order, and they start building all these weapons, and all these aircraft carriers, submarines, missiles, airplanes, all of these, they're just selling, a score to Japan, F-35s. Give me one. When you get rid of your arms, I'll get rid of mine. How's that, all right? Let's start at the top. You guys set the example.
It's funny you should say that, because right at the top of the program when you're talking, I'm thinking to myself, there goes Botox baby, Mr. Kerry, bouncing around the world, setting up World War III.
Yes, selling arms.
Yeah, and...
You guys get rid of your arms, let's demilitarize the police, and then I'll get rid of mine. But let's start with you guys first at the top, and let's work our way down. And then when you get to me, and all you guys don't have arms, okay then. And by the way, yeah, Hitler and Castro, right? First things they did was they made everybody get rid of their arms. So when the military-industrial complex starts de-arming, when the United States starts de-arming and stops selling weapons, and we're the taxpayers, by the way, we subsidize these deals. None of these, like in Kerry, the United States, we gave Vietnam $122 million for humanitarian aid and to help them in non-government, some BS. Yeah, this is part of the kickback for buying. You buy, look, we'll discount it $127 million. You buy $2 billion worth. The American taxpayer will pick up the difference. That's all this is. So what I'm saying is I'm for gun control. The next gun control advocate that speaks out, you start at the top. When you get them de-armed, then I'll de-arm.
My only thing and Gerald, I've told people, I mean, it might have shocked them too. You keep hearing this term that just because people own firearms, that they're enthusiast. That somehow that I'm enthusiastic. I mean, not everybody is a car creep. That's what we used to call guys that were into cars when I was a kid. Oh, that guy's a car creep. He's got the jacked up back end and the big fat tires, and the Traeger mags. And I'm thinking about this, and I'm going, I'm not an enthusiast about guns. It's a tool. I'm not in love with them. I don't pull them out of my closet and stare at them lovingly every night.
Right. You hate to have that. You hate to have the opportunity to use it, to defend yourself. I guess the last thing you want to do
is make somebody into human confetti. And I don't like firearms because I know what they represent. They are there for killing. And I've got a number of them, and I'm not giving them up.
Again, let's start at the top.
Yeah.
That's my gun control crusade. Let's start at the top.
Well,
and no, they have no room to talk.
Now you know what you just described, though.
They begin with themselves.
Gerald, you know what you just described. It's document 7277 that John F. Kennedy signed in 1961. General and complete disarmament in a peaceful world.
There we go.
Okay.
Disarm.
Well, yeah, but their idea was, we got to have some guns around.
Okay,
just in
you have
case.
some guns around. You guys stop building. No more. We don't need a new Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier that just cost us $13 billion.
Well, it's a good thing it's on water. That way it can't trip and fall down. Hey, let me go to the phones here.
Okay.
George in Texas, you're on with Gerald Celente. Hello, George.
How you doing, Gerald? How you doing, John?
Hi.
Yeah, well, if I don't hear from you before Christmas, Merry Christmas. Anyway, Gerald, I know you were talking about a trend of, people gaining back their self-respect and their dignity. I don't know if this was me gaining my self-respect and dignity, but for all those traitorous congressmen, I don't no longer call them honorable. I call them to the dishonorable whoever, just to let them know.
Well, that's... Yeah, I agree with you. But what it really comes down, and that's part of it, because the other part is, did you see this videotape of Nancy Pelosi saying, "Embrace the suck"?
No, I missed that one.
Well, you have to go Google it up. Go to CNN. Just put in "Embrace the suck."
You're saying SUCK?
Yes, and that's what she was talking about when why they agreed to the budget in the House.
Oh.
And you watch this video of her being interviewed by this CNN prostitute, and you listen to this woman, and you look at her, and you say to yourself, she's clearly insane. And I don't say that in a joking manner. When you look at the president, to me, this guy, he's a narcissistic sociopath, and maybe psychopath. When I look at Bush, when I look at Clinton, when I look at Ryan, when I look at all of them, they're out of their minds. And why would I look up to them? That's what I'm talking about with dignity and self-respect. Yeah. You do unto others as you would have them do unto you. You don't disrespect anybody. I dance with the bottle lady that comes by looking for bottles. It's not about that. It's about who are you to tell me what I should think, what I should do, and what I believe.
Gerald?
I don't tell you what to do. Don't tell me.
Gerald, here's that clip. Go ahead, Mr. Producer.
So this morning you told your members, embrace the suck. That's a quote.
Yes.
That's a quote.
It's a quote, yes.
Before I get to the substance of the bill, where did you get that from?
I think it really captured the moment. Wouldn't you think?
Oh, I'm not criticizing it. It seems to sum up what you think of this legislation.
Well, it's not just the legislation, it's the whole process and the fact that we don't have unemployment insurance and those kinds of things. But at the end of the day, we need to have a budget. So what we decided was that our approach would be to...
You're not going to say it's embrace the suck. Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't that one? I saw.
Did you listen to that?
Yeah.
Did you hear this cackling hen?
Yes.
You want to talk about Botox before, man?
Yeah.
This chick takes it every day in her Wheaties. I'll tell you. If you look at this tape, this woman is clearly out of her mind. They should be coming with the guys with white jackets to take her. I'm serious. She should be taken away and put in a mental institution. Anybody with any psychiatrist looking at that tape and giving it a clear breakdown would show you got a lunatic there.
We got a break. We'll be back.
Corporate media dominates the American opinion. Finding independent voices that counter this avalanche is becoming increasingly difficult. With the endless corruption running rampant throughout our government, independent voices are needed more than ever to battle the offensive against our freedoms and liberties. As a listener of RBN, no one understands this concept better than you. Now it's up to you to do your part. The time has come for you to take action and begin broadcasting the truth to hundreds or thousands of people every month. Sound impossible? Quite the contrary. With pointed slogans from LibertyStickers.com, you can reach countless sleeping Americans unaware that they live in a real-life wonderland. LibertyStickers.com has a huge inventory of political bumper stickers and messages that reflect the truth about our government, our politicians, and the future of America. With so many in stock, there's one perfect for you. Visit us today at LibertyStickers.com. Again, that's LibertyStickers.com. Do your part. Your voice is important. Let it be heard.
You are tuned in to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit our website by going to republicbroadcasting.org.
That moment of panic, sheer terror, really. You're afraid to answer the phone, frightened by who might be at the door. If you're facing foreclosure or being harassed by debt collectors, you know the feeling. You need to visit whatliesInYourDebt.com to turn the tables on the banksters, collection agencies, and other crooks. WhatLiesInYourDebt.com has solutions. WhatLiesInYourDebt.com features live training webinars from experts, a member forum, support from experts who've been where you are right now and came out the other side in a better financial situation. If you are like millions of Americans who are behind on their mortgage, behind on their credit cards, or just being harassed by debt collectors, then this system is for you. We promise. If you cannot stop your foreclosure, even if it's imminent, if you cannot stop those debt collectors from bugging you, if you cannot clean up your credit, and finally, if you cannot make a few $1,000s during the entire process, make money from the debt collectors, yes, at WhatLiesInYourDebt.com, we will refund your money 100% in the first 60 days. Don't fear the bill collectors anymore. Visit WhatLiesInYourDebt.com.
There are many water filters to choose from, but there is only one system that is consistently customer rated 5 stars as the #1 system for effective filtration of fluoride, radiation, drug residues, heavy metals, a wide range of radioisotopes, and more. Introducing the Pure Effect Ultra, the next generation water filter that also raises alkaline pH, improves antioxidant potential, and has advanced anti-radiation technology, all while using no electricity. Sold worldwide, it provides virtually instant clean water on demand. It is not made in China, and the shipping is free to all 50 states. Buy your Pure Effect Ultra today by visiting PureEffectFilters.com. or call 888-891-4821. Again, that's 888-891-4821. Or visit PureEffectFilters.com.
Do you love America? Do you support the right to bear arms? Do you have an opinion on the current immigration issue? Do you believe in the dollar? You have a voice. You have an opinion. Let it be heard. Go to AmericanFreedomSurvey.com right now and make your voice count. Do you like your rights taken away for the so-called sake of public safety?
Do you want to repeal Obamacare? Go to AmericanFreedomSurvey.com today and fight back. All you have to do is fill out a short survey, and you're done. Simple, easy, fast. For your time, you get entered to win free gold and silver. That's right. Get gold and silver free by filling out this short survey that enters you to win. AmericanFreedomSurvey.com. Go to AmericanFreedomSurvey.com today. That's AmericanFreedomSurvey.com.
Gerald, I don't know if George asked a question or not, and we kind of ran over him.
I think he did, about what self-respect is. It's not looking... How could you... yes, calling him dishonorable, thinking dishonorable, and not following people that are totally not in the interest of this country. And when you see this woman laughing like a what is she whacked out on, man?
Power and the disconnect. This is what happens when you put your brain in a vacuum. This is
I wonder what kind of drug she's taking.
I don't know, but here's the problem. Time was in this country, Gerald, that we could say no and hell no and really mean it. And there wasn't that much that the federal government could do to you. Now, what do we have? We have nuclear weapons. We've got drones. We've got everything. We can blast everything off the face of the earth if we wanted to. The only thing that we are doing right now, and beware of Homeland Security, you now are in a police state.
We're in a police state.
End of story.
You got it.
And then I've reminded people, I said, you want to know what a coup looks like? How would you know what a coup looks like? You're right in the middle of one. It's been done.
Here, people rail about capitalism, and I said this from the beginning, when the panic of 2008 hit. I said this is not a failure of capitalism. It's the opposite. If capitalism would have failed, you began by reading in one of the breaks all of the money that the too big to fails have gotten since the panic hit. 4 words killed capitalism. Too big to fail. In capitalism, there's no such thing. Everybody fails if you fail. There's no special favors. The merger of state and corporate powers, because that's who the names that you read out and how much they control, is called fascism by definition. And that's what's happened. We've turned into a fascist state. Police power under that fascism is one of the elements of it. It's fascism by definition, the merger of state and corporate powers.
Well, how's this for a price-to-earnings ratio? Let's put it in a stock format here. Let's try this one on for size. The total exposure that Goldman Sachs has to derivative contracts right now is 381 times greater than their total assets. Would you say that they were pretty well broke?
I'd say, well, that falls within lines of federal regulations, and we've looked at these kind of things, and we know that the ratio between cost to output.
Yeah, that's the Alan
right?
Green, that's the Alan Greenspan answer that nobody would ever listen to.
Exactly. That's what they do.
Yeah.
Look, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
The system is collapsing worldwide. I am very, very concerned about where we're heading.
It's close.
And that's the wake-up call. And I'm telling you, John, you got our list of the top trends for 2014 that we just put out. And what I'm saying is we're going to readjust those.
No, actually, you got to talk to Zeke, because the only thing he's doing is sending me one page. He's not sending me the whole journal. I can't.
Oh, no, he's not.
No. Go out there and smack the boy.
Okay, tell him.
Okay,
I'll tell him.
Okay. In the meantime, let's go back.
In the meantime, we're putting on our list. And then it occurred to me today, after seeing what the United States is doing with China and trying to nail down China. They're trying to bring down China.
You're exactly right. By the way, the World Bank report, the private domestic debt. Now, here's a nation of communists. Now, you thought they were all rice pickers out there. No, think again. Well, you have people and they're generating anything. You got to find mechanisms to suck them dry. Sorry, I didn't want to steal Nancy Pelosi's line, but according to a recent World Bank report, private domestic debt in China has grown from $9 trillion in 2008 to $23 trillion.
Yep, that's right. They are QEing like every. Oh, by the way, they have also riots going on in the Xinjiang province in the west that borders near Tajikistan.
Well,
and those people feel as though they're more of that culture than the Chinese culture.
Yeah.
So 17 died today. China's greatest worry is not Japan and the United States. It's just people. They got 1.2 billion of them, and that's why they're pumping all this dough into there, because if they break loose, they got a big problem on their hands.
What did you think about my statement about let's supplant all the fiat-based currencies in all of these countries that you mentioned with an honest money system?
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
I don't think there'd be any. If there was any discontent, it would be because probably our CIA is in there trying to flip a government or something. Again. Yeah.
And the other one, I'm a believer, I'm not a libertarian. I believe in laws. I'm a political atheist. I don't believe in any one type of political religion. And I'm all in favor of regulations. I want to see what Teddy Roosevelt worked for and put in place. Laws such as the Sherman Antitrust Act, the Robinson-Patman Act, the Clayton Antitrust Act, to stop these criminals with a lot of dough from buying up the whole country.
Yeah, but see, that didn't work.
Oh, it worked for a long
time, but look where we're at.
Until they started deregulating.
Hey, now, have you seen the latest? The new political football to throw. Where's Glass-Steagall Act? Is it?
And again, that was one I'm all in favor of.
Yeah, but see, they rescinded that. But
exactly, and look what happened. Look what happened. You mentioned the monopolies of the banks. Look at all of the hundreds of thousands of businesses of entrepreneurs that Walmart put out of business, that Target, that Macy's, that so many of them have put out of. Hey, do you remember when they were hardware stores? Hey, remember those things called stationery stores? And you or I could go open one up, and we would be able to compete.
Now all I got is fat people arguing and stabbing each other over Xbox games.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's go back to the phones. John in Tennessee. Thanks for holding, John.
Oh, thank you, John. Hello, Gerald.
Hello, John.
While I've been on hold, I called in. I want to talk about the 2016 election, but before I do, a couple other things I want to touch on. Please tell me Nancy Pelosi was not talking to Anderson Cooper.
Oh, no. We don't want to delve into Anderson Cooper's proclivity for the boys.
She would never talk like that to Anderson Cooper.
Well, what I told his producer, the woman I spoke to months ago, she wanted me to be on Anderson Cooper, and I said, I don't want to do that. I'm afraid the boy's going to hit on me. And she said, that's not a very nice thing to say. I said, don't you know your boss is a homo? She said, he is not. I said, go look at the tabloids. Everybody else knows it but you. Sorry.
Oh, I didn't want to go there.
Well, the hell with them.
But it's irresistible. The other thing, Gerald, before I get to the 2016, was in 2008 when all this was going on, I seen it coming, and I actually said something to someone that, welcome to the USSA, because that's what it became. And no one, I guess very few people actually understood what was going on. We lost our country when they said it was too big to fail. And
I agree. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
And I've been saying that as well. I'm on record of saying that, and you're right. We lost that. Well, we lost another part of our country. We've been losing our country one after another. I mean, following 9/11, we lost our rights. How many of our constitutional rights have been taken away from us? How humiliated we are. The fella from before that called up talking about dignity and self-respect, that we have to be humiliated by the TSA, that we have to be humiliated by police everywhere. So we've been losing it for a long time.
Yeah.
Real quickly, 2016 election, I noticed something when Paul Harvey died. They brought Fred Thompson. He had a couple years on the radio getting paid to do his own PR. People were falling asleep, and he lost the election. Thompson left, and who do they bring in? Well, they brought in the guy from Arkansas, Huckabee.
Mr. Huckleberry.
Well, he's been out there a couple years now. Do you know what he did, John? He left the program. He left the broadcast. And I think, Gerald, maybe you agree with me, that Huckabee is going to be the lesser of two evils in 2016, who is exactly what you said, pseudo-Republican.
And he would look like a shining star compared to Hillary Clinton.
I don't think he'll go far. That's my take on it.
Well,
and he won't.
Nah, I don't think he will. No, because he has too much. I began my career, by the way. I used to run political campaigns in Westchester County, and then I was the assistant to the Secretary of the New York State Senate, and I designed and instructed American politics and campaign technology at St. John's University. So this used to be my work. And I would never pick a guy like Huckabee, only for the Huckabee, Greenberg, Iceberg, what's the difference? But I would never pick a guy like him because he's too regional, and they'll tie him into a religion. And that won't work now. It won't get wide enough base. So, I just look at it as, is the guy saleable? And he's not to me. He's too narrowly defined, too regional, and it wasn't as though he had a big blockbuster show.
Hang on 1 second, guys. I've got to take a 3-minute hard break here. Required by contract to do it. We'll be right back.
World-renowned physician and stem cell expert Dr. David Steenblock, D.O., and his research staff have spent years developing all-natural formulations that support the body's own stem cell production and mobilization system. An everyday stem cell supplement, creating the birth of StemGevity. StemGevity stem cell mobilization formula is for use by men, women, and children of all ages to support your body's stem cell system naturally, quickly, and safely. StemGevity helps support your heart and circulatory system, bones and joints, liver, skin, brain, and much more. Order your bottle now at StemGevity.com today. That's StemGevity, StemGevity.com. Or call now toll-free, 800-300-1063. Buy 2 bottles and receive a 3rd bottle free by mentioning RBN. Anyone who wants to get healthy needs StemGevity. Call 800-300-1063 today.
There's no reason to be sick this season with Supernatural Silver's incredible technology. You can give your immune system the support it needs to help fight off colds, flus, and other nasty pathogens that can ruin the holidays for you and those you love. Used internally or topically, Supernatural Silver is a great defense against sore throats, runny noses, sinus or ear infections, and a whole host of other illnesses. Supernatural Silver is extremely safe and a great way to protect yourself and the ones you love. No one knows what the future may bring, so be smart and plan ahead. Have Supernatural Silver in your emergency preparedness arsenal and give someone a gift that's meaningful. A gift that can change lives. Give the gift of good health this year. Go to supernaturalsilver.com and use the promo code SILVER2013 for 20% off your entire order. That's supernaturalsilver.com. And like us on Facebook.
There are many water filters to choose from, but there is only one system that is consistently customer rated 5 stars as the #1 system for effective filtration of fluoride, radiation, drug residues, heavy metals, a wide range of radioisotopes, and more. Introducing the Pure Effect Ultra, the next generation water filter that also raises alkaline pH, improves antioxidant potential, and has advanced anti-radiation technology, all while using no electricity. Sold worldwide, it provides virtually instant clean water on demand. It is not made in China, and the shipping is free to all 50 states. Buy your Pure Effect Ultra today by visiting PureEffectFilters.com. Or call 888-891-4821. Again, that's 888-891-4821. Or visit PureEffectFilters.com.
It's no secret that Big Brother is spying on your web activity. VPNforall.com protects your internet from tyranny with military-grade encryption. VPN for All keep no records of your browsing, so you leave no trace. VPN for All are in Holland, free from the NSA and police state jurisdiction. Easy to sign up and use. It stops all data mining. Go to VPNforall.com immediately and stay safe. That's VPN4all.com.
RBN is having the end-of-the-year pledge drive to encourage listener support. For donations of $100 or more, you get an RBN coffee mug and a T-shirt. You can mail your donation to Republic Broadcasting Network, 2251 Double Creek Drive, Suite 302, Round Rock, Texas, 78664. You can donate online through PayPal or make a donation via phone by calling 800-724-2719. All donations are greatly appreciated and needed. Please make a donation today.
Wasn't that the idea when we started out at school? That's what they said the Constitution was about.
All right, we are back. We only got about 10 minutes here with Mr. Celente. So, John in Tennessee, if you got a question in there, cough it up, my friend.
Real quick, this shooting, and I want to just talk for a second about the shooting in Colorado on the 13th. Gerald, I know that the Federal Reserve Act was passed on the 23rd of December 1913. Wouldn't it be interesting, and I don't know, I know there was some debate, no one wanted it, they had to do it behind closed doors. Was it presented, do you know, on the 13th of December, and here's why I'm asking. We're all told that this guy did the shooting in Colorado one day prior to the Littleton, Colorado shooting anniversary. But isn't it interesting that it was Arapahoe High School in the 100th year of the enacting of the Federal Reserve Act in Centennial, Colorado? To me, that seems very coincidental. So I'm wondering if you might know when they actually presented the act.
No, I really don't. The only thing I really know is that it was on Christmas Eve, I believe. You may be right, the 23rd, but no, I really don't know.
Oh, here's one for you to chew on for a while, John. If you don't, and all of these shootings, by the way, the Lanza, all these characters were on antidepressants.
On antipsychotic drugs, yep.
Yep. Now, here's one for you. Consumer Reports just said that the number of children in the United States taking antipsychotic drugs have nearly tripled over the past 15 years. So if you think this is going to go away anytime soon, it ain't.
There was another story in yesterday's New York Times, Sunday's, because a lot of people don't read it on Sunday. The doctor who was very much responsible and a proponent of these drugs for ADD people is now taking a 180 on it, and that is that he is outraged at the amount of people that doctors and schools and other so-called professionals are saying that children have ADD. And this doctor, the story's there in the New York Times for anyone to read, is outraged that the drug company, that he's saying they're doing this basically so the drug companies can sell more product. No kidding.
Question for you, Mr. Celente. If somebody wants to get your newsletter, Trends Research newsletter, how do they go about doing it?
Oh, simple. TrendsJournal.com, and the new edition just came out. The top trends are coming out shortly. And John, we know that people are having a difficult time, so we have a discount request page there. We try to make it available to everyone. But besides the Trends Journal, I do Trends in the News every night, Monday through Friday. So we do the real news, the truth and trends, not this cartoon news network stuff.
Is that something we could pick up from you?
Oh, sure.
Okay. Well, then I'll call Zeke.
Yeah.
I'll call Zeke, and we'll
matter of fact, even if you go on to YouTube, we post a couple of them every now and then. Maybe one a week from all of them.
Well, I'd much prefer getting it straight from the horse's mouth.
No, I'm just saying for the listeners out there.
Okay. Well,
I'll make sure you get it from Zeke.
Okay, great. Good.
Yeah, we do them every night, and boy, you want to see me go off.
Well, what we'll do is incorporate that in our video section so nobody misses what Gerald has to say.
Oh, that'd be great.
Because when you get upset, it's time to pay attention. Okay.
I don't know how anyone could not be outraged. After listening, for example, that tape of Nancy Pelosi, how could people not be outraged that this is you want to talk about Nero fiddling? Well, look at these jokers, one after another.
But people are burned out. They are shell-shocked. There is one atrocity after another that's hit them every single day for how many years in this country. They're numb. Gerald, they're numb. They can't feel anymore.
You know, you're right. And when you really start putting the pieces together, you see people walking down the streets and they're looking at their hands. You go out to restaurants and you see people with their faces lit up. You look at the junk that people eat that they call food. Yeah. Hey, you want another Coke? Hey, I have another Big Mac. Don't eat those puffy, cheesy things. No, they're really good for you. Yeah. And so you see what people are doing to themselves physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Hey, is it any shock that we're in this shape?
Art and by the way, John in Tennessee, thank you for your call. Let's go to Art in Philadelphia. Hello, Art.
Hello, John. Gerald, thank you for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
A couple quick points. One is, about Nancy Pelosi's father, Lou D'Alessandro, right? Okay. Yeah, worked with Luciano, so it's no surprise that she's.
There you go. There's a perfect background.
Well, they're all a mob, you know.
Yeah,
right.
There's that mob, and then there's the Goldman Sachs mob. They're all a mob.
And then you got the IPO just happened this week with Hilton. Again, the Drew reports showed that that's directly connected to the Chicago Syndicate. And then here's the last thing I was running into. There was the 1986 Tax Reform Act, Section 1706, which was used to destroy the high technology industry, opening up the floodgates for immigration. Again, I talked to many companies over the years since that, as an example, Lockheed, and they say, well, you got to go through this certain vendor. Exclusive tie-ins and dealings and steering a competition. It's an intentional, the 12 vendors that actually sponsored it are all tied in with organized crime. And there's, it's now a nationwide thing that they think it's okay to replace Americans and use mob-controlled vendors that, like Manpower, that are basically bringing in H-1B visa immigrants all over the place.
I wrote about this in two of my books, in Trend Tracking in 1989, a Warner book, and in Trends 2000, the H-1B visas. And you're 100% right. It's organized crime. And the organization is the Democrat and Republican Party. And they have factions within that. And then there's the Wall Street gang. They're the most vicious of them all. They're the money changer brigade. And then there's the ones that fall in below that. There's the military-industrial complex. There's the pharmaceutical-industrial complex, the agriculture, and on and on. So it's a lot of mafias. But the heads of the mafia, it's the golden rule. The ones that have the gold rule. And John went through the list of the ones that have the gold.
Yep.
But there's J.P. Morgan Chase. They're the Goldman Sachs. They're the Citigroups. They're the Wells Fargos. There's only a handful of them.
Right. So quick points on there. When they had the bailouts, what happened, for instance, J.P. Morgan, many of the other banks in Delaware, what did? They fired 100,000 American IT workers and replaced them with H-1B Indian labor.
Exactly. I know. I've been writing about this.
Yeah. Dell did the same thing how many years ago, Gerald?
That's what I'm saying. I wrote about this in 89.
Yeah.
Right.
I was writing about it.
I found out that one of the sponsors was Senator Daniel Patrick Moynihan, and I talked to a guy who came out.
Oh, what a sleazy guy. They were all sleazeballs.
All right, so anyhow, I talked to Congressman Dick Schultz and somebody else. Schultz's assistant, Graham Hartwell, told me, yeah, we know it's the mafia sponsored it. Then I talked to a Navy guy he was over there when they're blowing up the judges in Sicily during the Reagan era.
Look, let's stop with this mafia and putting it into Italian only. You know, I take offense, just to make it really clear.
Right. I agree with you.
Enough. Let's start naming. If you're going to do mafia, let's keep expanding it, all right?
I did. I wrote a website called H-1B Visa.
All right. It's not just, so don't keep going back to the Italian mafia. You got the Jewish mafia. You got the Bloods and the Crips. You got the Democrats and the Republicans.
We got people out there to make Lucky Luciano look like a saint.
These guys are small-time players.
That's right.
I agree. But I agree with that. There's a website, No Place for Corruption, that talks all about the Jewish mafia.
All right, it's all mafias. And it's not mafia. They're immoral people of all religions and all cultures. Whether it's in India, they just had an election in India. They blew it away. The people never thought it would happen. The motto was end corruption, a new party. There's corruption in Pakistan, corruption in Malaysia, Singapore, Russia, Ukraine, you name it. It's immorality. It has nothing to do with mafias. Mm-hmm. It has to do with people that are only interested in their own gain, and they'll do anything to anybody.
And
one last point on H-1B visa. The way it really works, and you saw it with Roger Gupta when he got caught, is what they're doing is they talk to a manager, they pay him off in an offshore account in Sri Lanka, they set him up a credit card, and now you have a manager laying off Americans. They make $10 an hour for each American they lay off. And, you lay off, 50 people, you're making $1 million a year.
Yep. It began with NAFTA.
Yeah.
Right. And you want to know who gets the most money of anybody? Hillary.
Well, they all do. They're all on the take. They have different names for it. Some call it speaking fees. Other ones call it campaign contributions.
Yeah.
Right. When she ran for the Senate in New York, the 2 months before that, she went on a junket to India. She had more money coming from these families from India in America.
Yeah.
That
I
only
know,
make
it's a multinational takeover.
Art, I got to let you go.
Okay, man.
All right. Gerald Celente, thank you. Let's get Zeke to send me over the Trends Journal. I'll contact you, and we're going to keep putting up Gerald Celente's videos on our website.
And Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everyone.
All right, you too as well, and I will see you next year.
Okay.
All right.
Ciao. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Gerald. Folks, we'll take the top of the hour break here. We'll be back on the other side. I've got Paul Drockton joining me, and I've got an entire list of stuff too crazy to believe, but am I crazy for telling you about it? Well, you won't believe it when I do tell you about it, but it happens to be true. Truth is stranger than fiction, Judgy Wudgy. It certainly is. We'll take the break.